Hello and welcome to SME TV. I'm your host, Angela Vithulkas. Today we go all the way to the UK to shine a light on a true business hero. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can comment and share SME TV with others so you can watch other great interviews of lots of business heroes right around the world now. Joining me today to share his family's hospitality story and how his business has coped with COVID-19 UK style and what his future holds for the brand new branding of his cafe is Henal Chotai from Red Cup Café.co.uk, I might add, although it will come up on the screen. Welcome, Henal.
Good morning from the UK and good afternoon to you.
Now, don't rub it in that you have gone out of your way 2 o'clock in the morning UK time. Here it's a very comfortable, balmy afternoon, 2 p.m. So we've all had our lunch now and relaxed. But you've done us a great privilege to talk to us today. We want to get into a lot of things and we don't have a lot of time. I want to talk about how you got into hospitality and why very briefly. And I want to look at the different ways that you're advocating for hospitality in the UK and what kind of challenges you've come up against. And of course, what you think the future holds, because business, it's going to be a new way of doing business for all of us, but in particular for hospitality, and some of those things that we're going to embrace now that we haven't before that we should hang on to, because I think the way we serve our customers and what we do for them in hospitality is going to be now the new benchmark of how us independents are actually coping with this. So let's start. You're a family business now, but you did some time in clearing glasses in pubs.
For me, customer service it's the whole package. Since I was 13, I used to work in my dad's shop and serve customers, just a little corner shop. It started off really when I was working in a pub, just as a part-time job when you're 16, collecting glasses and just being in that atmosphere of hospitality, you know, just around people. I think that's so what drew me in.
The UK allows 16-year-olds in pubs?
In the garden, you're allowed to pick up. Back then, I'm not a young man anymore. We are talking about 30 years ago. Laws were a little bit loose then, shall we say.
That was what you could afford, right? A 16-year-old to clear the glasses in the garden.
Yeah, whatever you can, just to get into it. But it was the atmosphere, you know. Pubs, obviously, a nice social atmosphere where you're mingling with people, and that's really where it began. And at 18, it was, I just need to do hospitality because that's the best place to be around people. There's a excuse me, a difference between serving people in a shop, for example, where you might see somebody for 10 seconds, whereas in hospitality, they're there sitting, or they're there in your hotel, or they're there in your pub, or they're there at your venue, and they're there for a lengthy amount of time. So you build up relationships, and that's what it's about.
Because people forget the word hospitality is about service, and it's like treating your customers as if they're guests within your own home. And for most of us in hospitality, our place of business is our home because we spend more time there than we do anywhere else. And that's a big thing that big chains don't have. They don't have that special personal touch. They, you know, posh or fine dining will have a maitre d', but generally that's still a little bit removed. You know, the difference I think in a cafe like what you have created and other independents is that warmth and that familiarity with customers. So that hooked you in from an early age. You went and then got your degree in hospitality management.
Yes. I've pretty much worked in every single position in hospitality, apart from a general manager. And the only reason I didn't do that was because that was too much paperwork and it takes you away from the daily grind and dealing with customers. You know, there's a problem over there. Quick, let's go out and solve it. What's the problem? You know, that's the challenge of hospitality. It's not a simple day. You never know what's going to happen. The other day, for example, last week, I walked in the morning after a heavy rain and it was leaking inside in the cafe. And the first thing I found out my wife was, and I said, brilliant. I said, you know that indoor waterfall I wanted? I've got one. I don't see it as a problem. It's a challenge. Problems in hospitality are not there. They're challenges. You've got to resolve it. You've got to be calm. You've got to think about it. And you have to have a genuine heart, I think, in hospitality. I think you have to be a very strong person because you can be on your feet for 12 hours a day you've got to make sure you're smiling at somebody. You could have had the worst day the night before, or something, a disaster could happen.
Which we probably have had, because in
We all live
hospitality,
everyday life.
yeah, statistically, we've always had a bad day of some kind somewhere, and that's why we celebrate the amazing days. Henal, do you think the resilience of hospitality is because we're used to dealing with so many issues every single day? Our projects don't have months to roll out; they have a minute or 2 minutes to roll out. So we're used to cutting those corners finely. We're used to extreme deadlines. I think it's almost like the extreme sports version of work. Yeah, we truly are tested to the nth degree every single day as a matter of course. So I think those skills that we learn on a daily basis is what's really allowed us to be quite a resilient industry and to pivot very quickly. And we'll get to that about you. But, did you have one of those moments where you went, I really want to own my own cafe?
It was always to have my own bar. My dream was to have a bar where you walk in, on the floor, you've got a fish tank, on the walls, you've got a fish tank, and people come in, have a nice drink and nice atmosphere and small bits of food. And it was just about creating a pleasant atmosphere, I think. And although a bar was a good idea, I think as you get older, you start to realize that I'm not going to be able to stay up the late nights, and it's going to take, long hours and energy. But for me, it had to be something that was with customers. Our cafe, we're very lucky that it's 10 minutes walk away from where we live. So ours is very much a community cafe because both myself, my wife and my little one, we were both born in the area. So, for us, it's not just our business. And I think especially in hospitality, for me, it's not always about the money. This is my hobby. So I'm really lucky that my job is my hobby and it's my place as well.
But that's the family atmosphere. That's the family commitment. How old is your little one?
She's 3.5.
So that's how old I was when I was actually starting to do work in my mother's milk bar.
Oh, she has mixing omelets. She has been mixing omelets and she's getting into it. So, and she does know who Gordon Ramsay is. So she is very, very up to date with hospitality, I would say.
Well, there's pluses and minuses in the Gordon Ramsay column, because all of us have had those moments. I'm the first one. I'm not ashamed to admit that I have had tremendous Gordon Ramsay moments in the kitchen that would rival him on a good day. I want to jump straight into what you've been doing for hospitality. So, the pandemic hits us around the globe. Every country has dealt with it a little bit differently. You guys in the UK were also completely shut down for a while and prevented from technically opening the way you knew it. You had to pivot your business. You did. Tell us briefly about how you fitted in with pivoting, and then we're going to jump into the kind of advocacy that you've been doing and where that's going now.
Sure. Well, it's we had our first holiday, for example, in December, and that's the first holiday myself and my wife and the little one we've been on for 5 years, which we were lucky about. But that was planned. This was not planned. Yeah. In hospitality, you don't plan to go on holiday because you hardly do. You don't plan to say, let's just close for next week, because you hardly do. This was thrown at everybody. And that's like, whoa, I've just built my business up to here. You just knocked it out. And I'll be honest with you, I was depressed for 3 days because it was, you're used to waking up. You want to do things, and it was depressing because it's like, what do you do? What do you do? You've got food sitting in your cafe. You're ready to do this. You're ready to do that, and now everything has just stopped. So it took a few days to obviously gather yourself and think, what can we do? And after this, I think it was on the third day, it was literally, we had a few people asking, is it possible that you could just do some shopping for us, some elderly customers? And we were like, well, we're not doing anything, so we've got some things, why not? So we started from that, and we started an online grocery store because our goods are much better than the supermarkets. We're not dealing with the cheap stuff. We're dealing with nice quality tomatoes, nice avocados, nice lettuce, just the simple things. So we opened up a shop, and we just started doing online deliveries locally. and it was literally just to help out in the community. It wasn't even meant to develop something big. But you know, we do quite a few orders, and we also, for our healthcare, our local NHS, our heroes, as we call them,
Yes.
Heroes without capes, as we refer to them. We started donating towards the hospital, because we had our cafe as a base to use. We thought, why not use it for good? You know, in hospitality, we always want to help. We always want to make people smile. That's our job. And if we don't have customers, it was, what else can we do? So it was the deliveries
we're always the first ones that people come to for a voucher, or can you donate something to the local neighbourhood barbecue, schools, or what we call sausage sizzles here, etc. We're the first line of defence. We're the smallest businesses, and I think we've got the biggest hearts.
Definitely. You know, for us, it's, you know what it's like in hospitality. If somebody complains to me, we're not dealing with the complaint. What's the problem? What would they like? It's another dish. It's not like, oh, that's going to cost me more money. Yeah. Throw that dish away, serve that customer, and let's talk about it afterwards.
That's right.
Get the customer happy now, and then we'll resolve the problem. What went wrong? Was it your fault? Okay, next time we'll do this. It's, you know, you don't have time to argue it in the kitchen. You might scream and shout, as you say in the kitchen can be a colourful place.
Yes.
But once it's done, and you know, you'll sit down with your fellow chefs and have a drink afterwards, and it's all forgotten about. We're thick-skinned people.
It's an environment where four-letter words are about the limit that you need for your vocabulary, because any more is extra, not required. So you've pivoted in your business. COVID-19 came. You realised you were doing something based on community input and what they were asking for. So you met that customer need. You still had the big heart to look after some of the NHS for the heroes without capes, but that hasn't stopped you from being a true advocate in hospitality. I mean, you're part of the Federation of Small Businesses.
Yes, I'm a member for them.
I didn't know that existed. We don't have that here in Australia.
No. Well, they've got you, haven't they?
Yeah, I'm one. Thank you.
You only need one to start a voice.
We're creating an army now, though. We're spreading globally. So is the Federation of Small Business, that's a membership-based organisation, and
yes.
What is the role of the Federation?
They are there to, I mean, it's a membership we joined, which is, you know, full of different types of businesses, but it's a federation of small businesses, and
which crosses over industries.
Yeah. So you're linking with people who really care about business, you know, want to develop the business, want to help and work with like-minded people. It's working together, shall we say, because there's you know, you need help from everywhere. There's 101,000 hats that you wear in hospitality, and if you can give a hat to somebody else to help you with it, then why not? Because at the end of the day, they're there to help.
And is the organisation what you use to lobby government?
No, it's just one of the associations I'm a member of. We have a great hospitality association called the UK Hospitality,
right?
And we have a great leader called Kate Nichols. She is phenomenal. She's our
we'll make sure
spokesperson.
we tag her.
Oh, please do. She's just absolutely great. She's the one that's been guiding the government, because, you know, our industry is a special industry, especially in our country. Just to give you some figures, we're the fourth biggest employer in this country.
Right.
You know, and if you think the healthcare sector is quite a big one, our revenue, I've changed it into dollars, so it's a little bit easier for all your viewers. We bring in $234 billion in revenue of Australian
dollars.
Yes, in your figures, which equates to a 68 billion in tax. That's a lot of money.
That would get Australia out of COVID.
I mean, do you have the furlough scheme over there for this?
The which one?
The furlough scheme.
No, I don't believe so.
No. So what the government did was, our government did was to put all employees the government will pay for them, and they'll pay for 80. They're paying for 80% of the wages.
So we've gone another way. We've got a system called Job Keeper, but that's a flat amount. So it's not a percentage. It's it's a capped set limit, which is $1,500 Australian dollars per fortnight. So it's $750, which what technically is about £1,000.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah. Yeah.
£100 or something like that. Don't anyone quote me on those numbers. don't email me and text me that I got it wrong.
It's always hard when you convert it back again.
Yeah. So what about build back better?
Build back better. That started with from the Federation of Small Business. It was created of people that had hospitality and interest.
Yep.
And we, as a team, we gave up our time to find speakers to help the hospitality. So all the independents, it was advertising to get them on this webinar. It was free. It's free advice. It's still going on. We have had people from abroad as well, and it is literally just to get that help. You know, we would talk about things like the law. That was the first thing that we talked about, making sure that you're complying with the law. The second episode was about the finance side. Where can you get grants? What help is available for you? We've talked about branding, marketing, interior design. Great subject, which was the hygiene side of it, which is a huge topic.
Huge.
We're talking about the technology side. So there's so many topics that we organised, getting guest speakers of really high caliber to help individuals, because people like myself, for example, where do you look? There's so many things being thrown at you, you don't know what to do. So I kind of took it upon myself to help the independents along with my colleagues to just get these series of programs, so at least you're getting some guidance and some help, and
some
because
real
time is of the essence. Yeah, because time is of the essence. You know, the longer you stay closed, the obviously more it affects your livelihood. But it's trying to get the message across that do it, but let's do it properly. You know, these are things that if you do properly now, in the long run, you will see the benefits, because you know what it's like once you're open. You're into that day-to-day business, and then you forget about, oh, do you know what? I wanted to change the menu. Oh, I wanted to do this.
So it's take advantage of what this time presents us with. It's an opportunity to either recalibrate, refresh, but moving forward in a positive way. These are all positive messages that you guys are making.
Yeah, you know,
in a time when it's going to be positive.
You know, for us, it's affected. COVID's affected a lot more. I believe your death rate is around about the sort of 100 figure.
Just a little bit over, but yes, very low.
Just a bit over. I mean, we're on 42,000 at the moment, which you know, our daily figure is more than your overall total. You know, and we've had some deaths in the family as well over this time, and it's been hard because you've not been able to see anyone, you've not been able to hug someone. So these are testing times for everybody, but. You know, I feel that hospitality with that strength. Go on. Sorry, I was going to say we've got that strength to help.
I'm mindful that we're only halfway through what I want to talk about, and nearly at the end of the interview time. So I just want to really cover off quickly on Fair for Hospitality, which is a hashtag.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was
you're behind that as well.
It's something that we support. You know, it's again, it's UK hospitality. They're the pushers. You know, it's about getting things that people don't look at. You know, the wellness of your staff, the wellness of yourself as well, because we have to look after our staff, but you've got to look after yourself as well, because if you can't look after yourself, then you can't look after anybody. You know, our employees, you put them on furlough, get them paid, because they're our blood. That you can't run a place without your staff. No. And if you can't look after them,
I used to say I don't serve every single customer myself, and I don't want to.
Yeah,
it's just a fact.
We do a lot towards our communities as well. You know, with hospitality, especially in the UK, the first thing that hospitality did was, what can we do to help our NHS, our healthcare? And it was the first thing all restaurants and things did. Let's cook, let's feed them, because they don't have time. And we're the first, and we were the only industry that can do that. And we're the safest industry that can do that, because a lot of people were donating food, and the hospitals were saying, unfortunately, we can't take that because we can't allow our healthcare staff to be ill.
That's
so
right.
they would donate it to the homeless,
because
they
they
would
don't.
take it.
That's right. They don't know if they've covered any of the basic safety hygienes and cross-contamination, things that we take for granted in hospitality, because we already know that you can't, put seafood on a meat board or anything raw, cooked, the crossover. It's very basic hygiene standards that, whilst we operate under those every single day, people are more likely to get food poisoning from what they do at home than they are from getting it anywhere else.
Definitely.
Just want to remind everyone of that. And we have run out of time, so I'm going to steal time now.
Sure.
You mentioned at the beginning that the business that you're in now, family business, you and your wife. How tough is it to be in a family business?
It's extremely hard, because you've got to juggle with the little one. She needs your attention. Your cafe, your customers need your attention. At this particular time, it's extremely hard because it's just me, my wife, and my daughter. Yeah. My daughter's got to be looked after, which means that it's just me that's got to look after the business. My wife, bless her, she works hard and she creates menus. She's doing everything she can.
Yes, she's the brains behind the business. We established that.
Always. Yes, always. I'm just there to help her.
That's right.
But yes, it's all those hats that you have to wear as a small business, and especially as your family.
It's always a little bit tougher. It's bittersweet. I grew up in a family business. My brother and I stayed as a family business, and to this day we still are a family business. And it's what I love, and equally what I hate.
It consumes you, shall we say? Yep. It consumes. You don't think anything else. It's always about making people happy, and do you know what? Why not? Because we're on this planet to be happy, are we not? And we've been given that responsibility to make people happy. When people come into your establishment, they're not going to pick up a TV and walk out and use that for 5 years. They're going to spend half an hour in your establishment with a full stomach and a smile on their stomach and their memories. And that's what we're there to create. We're there to create happiness. And for me, when the hospitality closed, for me, the happiness went from everywhere. Yesterday, here at 12:30, our Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced that the 2-meter rule was going down to 1 meter. And I can't tell you the joy on looking at Twitter and looking at social media from hospitality people to say, we're back. The pubs, especially the pub brewers, they were like, we're back, and so many people are happy, and so many people are now. The 4th of July is not American Independence Day. It's the day that the pubs and the restaurants can open here.
That's hilarious.
It's a day of celebration. Oh, you wouldn't believe the joy here, because
Donald will be very happy about that.
Well, unfortunately, it will be hashtag 4th July UK instead.
And we will.
So we've taken that over.
And we will make sure we do that too. Before we do sign off, and we have to, because I've borrowed the time that I could.
Sorry.
So are you looking forward now to a different approach to business? Is this what you're going to take out of this pandemic moving forward? Are there things now that you took for granted that you won't, as far as running your business? Forget about the personal side, but as far as running your business, have you learnt something?
Definitely. I've relearnt. I've gone through this as my degree, and you learn, and then you kind of forget about it, because it's brought me back closer to hospitality, shall we say? Although, as I said, it's in a bad way, but my love was always there for hospitality, but my need to now give back to hospitality has come, shall we say. I feel like I've got to the point where I do have my business, which we all do, but I feel now I want to give back. And I think that's the love now I've got for it, is to help as many people within hospitality as I can. Any little bit will help to anybody.
Well, on that note, we thank you very much for joining us today on SME TV Views, and for sharing with us a little bit of your story. We are going to check in with you time to time to find out how the plans and the platforms that you guys have established in the UK around hospitality, how they are moving forward. We celebrate with you for the lessening of the restrictions and the fact that you're all looking forward to physical distancing, but not social distancing, because I know that that's a very important thing for you. Please give our regards to your wife and the little CEO, because I know it's still early.
I will do.
To all our viewers and our watchers out there, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can help us and all SMEs right around the world, because that's why we exist, to give you a voice when very few others will hear. Thank you very much, Henal. We will catch you again very soon. Thank you very much to the SMEA Association of Australia for making this possible. And remember, you can find us on all socials. If you have anything you want to share with us, you can email us news@smea.org.au. We'll catch you next time. Thank you.